Hello everybody. Um, we're going to look at engraving, but don't know what you would call this, but imprinting a logo into something. Now, there's an engraving video if you haven't seen it that I've already done. It's a top-down view of an engraving, but let's just suppose that the you want to imprint something and it is at an angle like this. This is something I did for somebody. There's a paw print in that. It was this particular paw print. Let me just It was this paw print here, and that is imprinted into that, and it looks like there's a recess and it's quite realistic looking. So we're going to look at how to do that. I'm using an ice cube here. A number of other things could be used, but I found that the ice cube, well, it was something I did for someone, and it ended up looking pretty good. Okay, let's look at how to do this. So we have the base image. This is the base image. And we have a logo. That's all we have to work with, okay? So what I'm going to do, firstly, I'm going to, let's get rid of all the white, yeah? So what I can do for that is use the select by color tool, and therefore I make a selection of the white, press delete a few times, and there we go. There's still a bit of a white outline there. I'm not a fan of those sorts of things, but that's small. Now we're going to use the perspective tool to realign the perspective of this paw print. Perspective. I'm going to put this corner over there, this corner over there, and that will match the perspective of the ice cube as such. Okay, done. Now it does need to be a bit smaller, so I'm just going to scale it. Scale tool, done. Okay, so now we have our paw print. What I'm going to do, I'm going to select the bottom layer, and I'm going to, so I want to actually work with the bottom layer, but I want to first select do an alpha selection on this logo. So I'm going to say alpha to selection. Now that's selected everything within that, let's say whatever logo you've chosen to put up there. Now I'm going to switch that layer off, but the selection remains. So I can do all the manipulation just in those areas that are selected. So a really handy thing is, well, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use the clone tool. Now let's go to the original layer. I'm going to clone from here up onto here so that I'm getting the side okie dokie. So it kind of already starting to look okay. Now I'm going to assume that there's a flat surface here somewhere, so I will grab some of the flatness here. Let me make it, I'm going to change the aspect ratio of my brush to make it more wide, as you can see, and this will match the width of the others. Now there you go. Look, it's almost pretty much already done. Um, you may want to give an overlay. So I've just switched on the original logo layer, and I'm going to say, all right, let's make it an overlay, and that will not so strong, but just maybe just a little bit to give it some darkness to because it is inside, so that gives a bit of a darkness. and you can see that the paw print is already looking very realistic. Something I did on the original edit, let me just turn on the original edit. Um, you can see that white outline on the edges to show some shine. I did that to show you how I did that. I will just do it here. So I'm going to make a copy of the um, actually just to make it easy so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to make a copy of this. Make a couple of copies of it. Switch the original one off so that I'm only playing with the top two. Let me change it to normal mode for both of them. Okay, so I've switched my actual working layers off. I'm just working with these two to create that outline. And the way I'm going to do that outline is I'm just going to grab the top layer, push it down, maybe just one step down, right? Then I'm going to select alpha to selection, right? Switch it off. So I'm looking at that bottom layer because there was two copies of them. Remember, I moved it down, then I did a select all. So I've done a selection on the bottom, leaving a small single pixel width visible above that. So if I press delete now on the keyboard, hang on a moment, well, I don't know what I just did, but okay, let's delete. Okay, so I've just hit delete on the keyboard and it's left me with that. That's a black outline. I can simply either invert that or there's a number of ways, but let's just do that. Now, if I switch on our layer, our base layer, you can see it's added that white tinge. Look at the difference. I think it looks better with it. Um, okay, and that was the overlay layer. Yeah, I think that shine helps a little bit, but it's a personal preference. You can make it a little less intense if it helps. So you can use this for all sorts of this kind of method for all sorts of engravings. You know, this could have been a block of wood, and I could have used the same texture from the side. Of course, sometimes you won't have that side texture, but it's not too difficult to find a top view texture of something that you're applying the effect to. Because remember, the recess here has to be different. It has to show that it's going down. I hope that was helpful and easy. I don't think these things are difficult, but just depends, I guess, where you're at. Any questions, reach out. Thank you.